Could a governor's decision to shorten a prison sentence for an election conspiracy theorist be a blow to democratic integrity or a brave stand for free speech? It's a question that's now at the forefront of American political discourse, and the answer is anything but simple. Before we dive into the complexities of this story, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in U.S. politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and allows us to bring you more in-depth coverage like this. Governor Jared Polis of Colorado has announced he will grant clemency to Tina Peters, a former county clerk who became a darling of election conspiracy theorists. Peters was serving a 9-year prison sentence, handed down after she was convicted of allowing unauthorized access to voting machines following the 2020 election. Now, Polis, a Democrat, has stated he is having her sentence. This means, after accounting for time already served, Peters could be paroled within a month. The governor's decision, he claims, came after Peters acknowledged her wrongdoing in an application for leniency. According to CNN, which obtained the document, Polis stated that he believed Peters was unfairly punished for her comments alleging fraud in the 2020 election. He articulated his reasoning by saying, and I quote, "I hope that Democrats don't sacrifice our deeply held belief in free speech because of political expediency or disregard for what people are saying. There should be no consideration of what we say, how unpopular it is, how inaccurate it is in sentencing or in criminal proceedings." This move by Governor Polis follows months of significant pressure from none other than former President Donald Trump. Trump himself issued a symbolic pardon for Peters last year, though it's important to note that he cannot grant clemency for violations of state law. Trump has repeatedly called on Polis to free Peters, and this pressure campaign has been part of a broader pattern of actions from Trump targeting Colorado, including slashing funding and litigating against the state. In a particularly notable instance in December, Trump vetoed a bipartisan bill meant to bring clean water to Colorado, the first and only veto of his second term. Governor Polis confirmed he spoke with Trump privately about Peters' case, but he insisted that his decision to grant clemency was based solely on looking at the merits of the case. The Democratic governor, who has been known to occasionally buck his own party, suggested he had been weighing this decision since March. That's when a former Democratic state senator was sentenced to probation and community service after being convicted of similar charges. Polis took to X, formerly Twitter, to write, "Justice in Colorado and America needs to be applied evenly. You never know when you might need to depend on the rule of law." Tina Peters was convicted in August of 2024 on 4 state felony charges by a Colorado jury. The conviction stemmed from her actions in fraudulently giving a right-wing activist, affiliated with MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, access to the Mesa County election system. During her sentencing hearing 2 months later, Peters remained unrepentant, telling the court that she had never done anything with malice to break the law. Her conviction was upheld by an appeals court in April, though the court did rule that the lower court's decision to impose a 9-year sentence was excessively harsh. However, not everyone is pleased with the governor's decision. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, a Democrat who is currently running for Attorney General, strongly urged Polis not to grant leniency. In a statement released before Polis' announcement, Griswold declared, "Peters organized the breach of the election equipment, broke the public trust, and attacked the very foundations of our democratic process. Her actions are still being used to try to undermine the 2026 election. She should get no special treatment by the governor." And his statement is shocking and worrisome. Peters' case has indeed attracted significant attention from prominent Republicans, including Donald Trump, who have continued to falsely argue that Joe Biden's victory in the 2020 election was fraudulent. Trump himself posted on Truth Social in December, stating, "Democrats have been relentless in their targeting of Tina Peters, a patriot who simply wanted to make sure that our elections were fair and honest." Tina is sitting in a Colorado prison for the crime of demanding honest elections. This decision raises profound questions. Is Governor Polis setting a precedent for clemency based on perceived free speech violations, even when those actions led to felony convictions? Or is this a politically motivated move, influenced by Trump's relentless pressure and the desire to avoid further partisan conflict? And what does this mean for the public's trust in election security and the justice system? especially as we head towards future elections. So, what do you think about Governor Polis' decision to grant clemency to Tina Peters? Is this a victory for free speech or a dangerous concession to election denialism? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged.